life can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bunny. Don't try studying me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted. Can't copy, printed. Can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoke it into existence. So consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no cap when I be speaking this.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Prepare to die. Prepare to die. Welcome to a whole new world. Your planet is now under mid-rangers' control. Humanity will be exterminated. If you hear this message, do not try to leave. Do not try to fight. Do not try to resist. You will be eliminated. You will be eliminated.
Hello, friends! Welcome to the Victorious weekend showdown as we have here these two teams who have been fighting it out. But before I get ahead of myself, hi, what's up? My name is Cute Noob and I am here with my friend Becky.
Hi, everybody. How's it going today? I hope you all are having a wonderful evening, as Eve and I are as well. Absolutely stoked to be here to cast some Valorant and see who's taking home today's games. I'm getting in here with these two teams. They're kind of, doing their little they're not smack talking at all. They're actually being really sweet. It's really great. But, mentally, I'm always ready for the smack talk, the little, jest that happens back and forth before you go into game. And sometimes I just like to imagine that there's a nice little rubbing elbows back and forth before we go down in.
Absolutely. And with these two teams that we have Synergy as well as Dark Matter, completely two different type of vibes coming out from this team. One a little bit more positive, one showing the darker side of the universe. And I dig that out.
It's a really cool, different vibe, and I mean, there might be some different vibes between team compositions that could happen here as well. We will be going on to Haven very first, and I think that Haven is one of those where, especially since Neon has started to be an important pickup on a map like this, the people who are comfortable on Neon are really picking it and kind of as Neon should be, sprinting full force as quickly as possible with that agent, and it's really beautiful to see, but then some people still aren't very comfortable on it, so we might be seeing two very different playstyles as well from these two teams as a result of that new agent and people's comfort levels based on that.
Absolutely. And you said it. That is going to be our first map. Haven will be it. Up next, we have Ascent. And then third, we will have Fracture. But this is going to be, as we get into Agent Select, a map that is going to dictate the momentum for the rest of this series. Best of threes. Whoever wins it is going to be the team that continues their win streak. Both of these teams, they have not dropped a map whatsoever. So that could be a first kind of little mental struggle that they go to if either one of these teams were to drop it out. And just with that, Becky, what agents do you want to see coming out into Haven? You talked about Neon, but let's talk about controllers.
Oh, controllers? I mean, I think that this is a map where Skye is still kind of a phenomenal pickup, especially over KO still. I think that you get to see, you don't have the same verticality elements where the knife is strictly better than something like the dog or something like the guiding lights. So I think that Skye is still a phenomenal controller a phenomenal, initiator as far as controllers go. My bad. I just got super excited about the difference between Skye and KO because it matters so much. At the end of the day, with controllers as they are right now, it's Omen or it's I wanted to say Breach there too. Oh my gosh.
It's because we saw the Breach.
Yeah, exactly. Mentally, I'm on to that. I'm thinking about that. And it kind of just depends on which controller people are more comfortable on. And a lot of the time, it's just player's choice. It's not really one is strictly better than the other. They have different utilities that if you're more comfortable with certain parts of them, you're more comfortable with the intel and the blind that Omen provides, or you're more comfortable with the Molly and some of that extra utility and the stim beacons. It really depends on your team composition, and it depends on what that certain controller player is comfortable on. And that's also why I love Haven. That's why it ends up being such a great map in general too, is because I like maps where you can pick between two different agents and you have that flexibility just depending on what people are comfortable with. And I'm excited because we are seeing Swifts go ahead, lock in that Neon. The moment I saw the Breach, I was like, please let a Neon go alongside this, because right now on Haven, Breach and Neon are kind of like peanut butter and jelly, and Haven is kind of like the bread that pulls them together and makes them into a nice little sandwich. So I'm excited to see this combination here. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table and if they'll be able to make the best use out of that combination as possible.
Yeah, those attackers are going to be full W key, as we can see. You said it, Neon is one of those characters that you just got to go in, especially with the smokes. I think that the guard set the pace for that Brimstone being onto the attack. You bring down the smokes, and then you just hit the site running. And I think that's something that we're going to see coming out from Synergy. Synergy. On the defensive side, I'm a little bit worried. I always get really worried when I don't see a Sage, when I don't see a KJ or a Cypher as a Sentinel, because that means that your site is going to get hit hard, especially after seeing that team composition coming out from Synergy. It's going to be hitting very hard, and you're not going to have a lot of util to hold them back. Yes, you have the shock bolts coming out from Soba, you have the trademarks. It slows, but does this stop the push completely? No, because on that side, you have that Neon that can just dash into sight. So I'm scared for Dark Matter starting off this round. As we can see, it's going to be a full send coming out from Kino onto the C long, but that's not even where the bomb is at right now, Becky.
Oh, I mean, I like that very early, just like using that utility. That's kind of what you're forced into doing with something like that Omen. And I think that just going ahead and not really holding on to it, making sure that you can go and peek that angle should they actually be there is a great plan. Unfortunately, for the side of Dark Matter, that wasn't quite the case. And instead, the bomb is down on this A site and the setup is good. Just waiting for these lineups from these breaches to see exactly how getting onto the site is going to end up going. And I mean, first it's a trade back and forth between Yune and Vulcan there.
Oh, but there's still a lot to be done onto this site as the bomb has gone down. You said at the time is ticking. Idan able to connect with that kill. Looking for the second. It is Edmund ready to trade off, and the push is coming through, and the kill does go down from Eclipse to secure that the defenders are able to claim this first point.
Ooh, yeah, it seems like it's going to be a little bit close, but ultimately enough time indeed for these defenders to be able to pick that one up. Very nicely done on that retake. And I mean, I talk about it a lot, especially on a lot of previous casts. I'm sure Cute Noob has heard this, but I'm going to go ahead and reiterate for those of you at home who are not familiar with my thoughts about Haven specifically. A is probably the hardest site to retake. So as an attacker, that's the most coveted site, is you want to be able to go for that one. C is a lot easier to retake, and B is obviously the easiest to retake. So it really just depends on how quickly you're able to get onto that site and get that reset up. And I think it maybe bodes unwell for our attacking side, seeing as how they were able to go down to this defensive side with that first round and taking that hardest site. But hopefully they were able to learn from it, and they're going to be able to continue to go forward into this smoothly. Unfortunately, it is not going to be so smooth as 3 members of the attacking side fall very quickly, and all of a sudden it is left just to these final 2 in Antol and
one enemy
Awante.
remaining.
Oh, make it not Awante.
Oh, my Atlanta. Cleanup Town has claimed their kills, and they are ready for the following round. And one round that I'm surprised that Synergy decided to buy up there, Becky. They were very confident in their team composition, and we did see some Spectres coming out, but it looks like the defenders were already waiting to go. And what's surprising to me is how much they're able to actually hold on to that site, those sites. It doesn't seem like they're lacking anything. I talked about having the problem of not having an actual Sentinel, but I guess this team has figured out how to work around it, and they are ready to go. And I have to say, this round is looking pretty nice for Dark Matter, especially with that weapon advantage.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it beautifully. The buy-up on the previous round definitely going to hurt the attackers going into this one. And now, all of a sudden, they're forced to kind of play slowly, but play as a huge unit. Looks like most of them hanging out towards this A long area. And we're seeing the kind of typical Chamber lurk. Chamber is one of those agents that's extremely good at lurking. Has the rendezvous to get out of sticky situations and doesn't lose a lot for lurking. But all of a sudden, a quick moving onto the site, because that fast lane alongside a guiding light does really open this up. The 3 members that were hanging out towards this A site fall very quickly to a very coordinated attack from multiple angles from the attacking side here.
Yeah, they do have that site control, and I love the lurk happening for Vulcan over onto that CT, just in case the remaining members of Dark Matter are going to attack from that spawn site. But that was not quite the case, and a flawless, surprisingly, going on to Dark Matter there.
We do get to see a replay of this coordinated attack that is coming out from them. It's a little bit of a rough aspect ratio, but we'll get that fixed up. There we are. And now we get to see exactly kind of how that went. That fast lane did allow for those 3 members that were on that alongside that guiding light to just make sure that whoever that neon peeked out into were going to be able to go down. And it was just a beautiful push, beautiful coordination and communication all from the side of Synergy.
Yeah, and now they're starting it off very slowly. I love the change of momentum coming out from Synergy here. They know that pushing through has awarded them before, but hey, it's always nice to play those mind games. Valorant is just like chess. You got to be ahead of your enemies right off the bat. And the bomb is making its way towards A, where there's only a chamber holding down onto site. So it's going to be the wall coming through for Sky to securely get onto site.
I think my favorite thing in the world now is Tasmanian tiger that's sped up by Brim's stim beacon, because we got to see that dog go zoom in because of the stim beacon, and it was absolutely great. Dynasty does get a little bit tagged up by that shock dart, but is not too worse for wear, and still happy to hang out by this bomb. A bit of damage going across a bunch of stat lines there, but ultimately Vulcan still able to get the first to say in this argument. Some heals coming out from that Sky, beautifully done, and keeping the attacking side topped off as they're just trying to hold the defensive side off. A lot of trades back and forth falling up into the kill feed, but ultimately Eden with the double kill is doing an extremely strong job so far. Eclipse tries to peek around, and Eden will come out on top, but forced off because that molly and that bomb is ticking really fast, and that last bit of damage will be good enough for Awate to finish that off and clutch it for the attackers.
Oh, we do have the replay. It all started with that recon bolt, Becky. Also, the trade-offs of aftershocks going back and forth from both teams on point. But eventually, it was the flash that actually blinded their own teammates. As we can see, that chamber was blind, but it clips through the smoke, able to secure two. And obviously, that lurk around from Edon, able to get the last two. But down came to the Brimmy Antal, and the Brimmy Molly lineup just clutched it up.
Oh, just going forward a little bit too soon, but I think that Brimstone Molly was extremely well timed and would have been very difficult, all things considered. But once again, Vulcan, I mean, last time it was a flurry in which Vulcan was able to get the first blood. This time is going to be good for two before falling to Eden there. And all of a sudden, it is just Eden with the Sheriff trying to get a little bit more action happening, but Dynasty is going to be able to take it all the way home. And all of a sudden, after a flurry of things all across the map, it's just left up to Kino with this Marshall, who I'm sure is going to have to get a little bit frisky. Don't really want to keep that Marshall going into the next round, but certainly not looking to be in a very good position.
Listen, I love a Jet with the Marshall, especially a Jet who can no-scope super quickly. It is a hard, tall order coming out for attackers onto this post plant. Only a hope and a dream. Does have the Blade Storms in the back pocket, Becky, but I don't think that's going to come out. I mean, it's way too early, and you want to make sure that you're using it to your best ability. And as we can see, CT pushing through. Neon just peeking through, says, hey, can you touch me? And it didn't quite connect there. And Kino does go down, and down we go to the next round here. Oh my Lanta, Becky, look at those ultimates stacked up.
Whoa, I mean, lots of ultimates all across the board. The only person without one is Eclipse on this Omen, but is still only 1 point away from that from the shadows. I think if it was maybe a more contestable ultimate, or maybe a more impactful ultimate, we maybe would have seen Eclipse kind of hanging out towards one of those ult orbs. But considering that the From the Shadows is, I don't want to say bad, but it's not the most impactful ultimate. It's not game-changing. It's not essential. You're really playing Omen for those smokes and for the paranoia, and just being able to be in kind of sticky situations and get out of those sticky situations as well with those teleports. So not really going to see Eclipse kind of go for getting that ultimate orb and trying to join everybody in available ultimate land. But I mean, on top of being in available ultimate land, Kino is in first bloodlands, picking up a nice one there, but gets very aggressed by Awate there, who's going to be able to take that one down and go for that plant immediately here. And all of a sudden, 4v4 situation, and the attacking side planted for long, and are now moving towards that outer side of C long. Doesn't look like anyone is really going to go for a flank, instead just kind of hanging out towards this garage area and waiting for the rest of the defensive side to join up with the rest of the team.
Oh, I love that teleport from chamber coming out. The Rolling Thunder is also going to come through, and it's going to be a flash as well. Time is ticking, but let's remind everyone that that orbital strike is in the back pocket of Dark Matter, and just like we saw, they popped out. Vulcan with that relocation now is able to lurk around this garage and claim 2 souls to add on to that KDA.
Ooh, and I mean, ever since we got into this third round, and that third round was a rough buy for the attackers, they kind of just they took the training wheels off. They were like, hold up, those first 2 rounds, they might have been not our best showing, but now we've certainly come to play, and at 4-2 and 4 rounds won in a row, we do see Vulcan going ahead with this operator that I believe was picked up off of the jet from the previous round. So a nice little save as far as credits are concerned, and hopefully gonna do some work for the attacking side this time. Is Kino gonna go ahead with just a classic in this Blade Storm. Une actually the one on the defending side to have a nice start here with that kill onto Swift, so beautifully gonna stop a lot of that aggression that would be coming out early.
Yeah, getting rid of that neon. You no longer get those Palpatine fingers, as they like to call them. So that's going to be a little bit of a safety bound there coming out. But they do have the Seekers as well as the Rolling Thunder if they decide to aggress. But I love this positioning coming out from the defenders. You got 3 different corners already being held off. That crossfire as well. And if you get hit by the Rolling Thunder, maybe the other one will be saved. Unfortunately, though, Antal with the swing onto Eden. And also the Rolling Thunder and Seekers are out to take onto this side.
Oh, and even though being concussed, Une is still able to pick up 1, and it's at least good enough to keep this in an even situation here. From the Shadows is ready for Eclipse should they try to do a little bit of a change up here, but instead actually knows that nobody is watching, lines up the first one, has time to line up the second as nobody is prepared because of that teleport being able to get, as I mentioned, into one of those sticky situations that sometimes just ends up going so well for Eclipse.
Yeah, we can see this replay, the patience coming out from the attackers as well as the Rolling Thunder coming through. It was that teleport from Une that was able to get him that first kill, but the trade-offs were there. And just like you mentioned, Eclipse with the teleport repositioning as well as the Earthquake coming out to buy some time onto that post plant, Becky. And then it was just a matter of trigger control. How well can you be, how much patience do you have? And, you know, those headshots were just too crispy clean.
They were absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, it's beautiful. When you have a Rolling Thunder going onto site, you don't expect anyone to somehow end up behind you. So beautiful, like, decision-making on Eclipse's side. Ooh, and an unfortunate jumping from Vulcan that ends up going wrong. The elbow is good enough to take the whole chamber down for Kino with this operator. And I mean, it didn't end up going well for Kino the first time this operator was bought up, but you know, it's worth it the second time, getting a little bit of revenge skis there.
Oh, yeah. You take one, I take one, I keep my operator. And now you're having the attackers reposition onto a site where you have 2 team members. And after those smokes come down, it's going to be the rotation coming out from Dark Matter here. Oh, so many blinds, though, Becky. Swift able to get onto the backside. Clipped and Edmonds both down. The bomb has not been planted, but that's what they're working on right about now.
Yeah, Kino's picking up that second kill going into this round, and it is a 3v3 situation, but a lot of utility was used to get onto this site. Yet another one-for-one trade between Une and Dynasty there, but Une coming out on top and will pick up that kill onto Antal as well, and then wrong place, wrong time for Uwate there, who does end up falling as well to Kino. 3rd kill with that operator, and yet another clean retake from the defending side, and evening us up to a 4-4.
I want to say that Kino with the operator has been a momentum shift for the side of Dark Matter. The fact that you're able to take out the chamber just at the start allows for the lurk around to happen if you wish to do so, but it also gets in the mind of Synergy saying, hey, we're down 1, we need to actually hit a site, and then just being able to hit those shots was fantastic for Dark Matter. And now they do have that economy advantage as well, which is putting them on the right track to get back, maybe even get the lead as well.
We'll see if they are able to pick up that lead. It looks like they're going for a very aggressive start to this round, and some of that intel has been gathered by that chamber from the defending side, who's hanging out towards that mid area, and it's forced Eclipse to move back over as well, not using that from the Shadows quite yet, and instead just going ahead, throwing some of those smokes, and Eden with a very nice starting kill there on Vulcan.
Oh, my Lanta. Straight through the smoke, you get a kill. Easy peasy, no worries there. But it's another kill through the smoke for Eden. I don't know what this guy has. Extra ray vision. I don't know, but it's working out. Aftershock, though. Antol says, hey, you get through the smoke, I get through the wall. Antol becoming a menace for the defenders to get onto this site. Kino only has an operator, and it's kind of looking a little bit grim as the gliding light pulls through. Edmund says, hey, I'll create the space. Can you capitalize on that? And with low health, Antol gathers the last 2 of 4K for this initiator.
Oh, that seemed like so promising when Edmund was able to get that into a 2v2 situation for him and Kino, but unfortunately the double swing from the opposing side ended up causing a little bit of an unfortunate situation for that defending side. 5-4 now, and the leg up given back to the side of Synergy, who are looking quite strong when they're looking strong, and then every once in a while they'll just get kind of stomped trying to get onto a site or trying to have like a retake happen, and all of a sudden we're seeing 4 people kind of lined up with the most intense crossfires of all time towards this C site. An interesting decision, and could have potentially been a really cool play, but instead it is going to be that dog coming onto A site, followed by the Rolling Thunder. I mean, I like the decision to just not be in the same place as the Rolling Thunder, and we'll see if the retake is going to be able to go well, but Eden falling that early is certainly going to make it that much more rough for the defense side to get back onto this site. But when I trying to do the best to fight back with that tour de force.
I mean, able to pick one, that's already nice off of the bat. I do like this lurk coming out from Eclipse from the flank here, but it's going to be a meetup of the controllers here as we see Brimstone is holding that A short. Aftershock comes through, but a fault line comes through, but doesn't quite connect now. And Dynasty is holding that cheeky crossfire with Swift. I think that's like a 3-man crossfire. As you can see, Edmund drops at the wrong time, but it's Swift and Wait that just can't wait any longer and just continue to push onto CT here.
I mean, Kino at least is like kind of sitting here waiting, trying to get some exit picks, but I mean, gotta also be thankful to die with that Marshall there. The Marshall not quite worth saving into the next round, and we will get to see a replay of this attempted retake situation from the defending side, but ultimately the angles that are held from Dynasty as well as Antal in this situation are just going to be too good for the defending side to really get onto the site and get
One enemy remaining.
done here. Just able to quickly clean everything up alongside Swift. Beautifully done from the attackers. Great setup situation, and just making sure that the defending side really struggles to get back onto that A side once they get that bomb down.
It is the fast lane coming out from Swift that has actually allowed them to get onto the site, but I feel like the usage of that fast lane coming out so early might actually cause them a little bit of a hard time getting onto site. Actually, never mind, just bring out the Palpatine fingers onto this C site. Gonna push right on through, but Eclipse with the cheeky angle, claiming 2, claiming 3.
Beautifully done. I mean, that's just one of the reasons that you play Omen. I mean, you talk about, like, on the defensive side, you want to hold angles. How about you hold an angle that nobody is used to checking, and all of a sudden, 3 kills, 1 going Kino's way, and in the chat, you see a little bra moment from the attacking side, as it is a perfect round for the defenders going into this one.
Oh, they needed that so badly, and I love the fact that there is 2 operators now in the defense. You have it on the Chamber and you have it on the Jet. 2 players that could they hit their shots. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. Yune and Kino, they have been hitting some of the most insane shots, so to have 2 of them have that, it's going to be a little bit scary. And this is the last round, which giving us a 6-6 is going to be fantastic when we switch roles. I don't know. I'm kind of scared for the attacking for Dark Matter, or sorry, Synergy at this point, because they're going to be switching onto the attack. And I don't know if their team composition is really made up for these attack, but hey, we shall see.
We will indeed see. Eclipse gonna get a little up close and personal towards this garage area too, making sure that if anyone tries to go through after those shots through those doors, they will fall. At least that's the hope and the dream, but it looks like the decision might be to instead go for this B pick. It is covered by that dark cover from the defensive side Omen, but the stim beacon goes down, the Seekers come out, and it's gonna be a rush to try and plant onto this B site.
Oh man, Hunter's Fury already coming out nice and early. Gonna hit Dynasty, but not unfortunately get the kill. It's Yune. They have the op, but unfortunately that shot misses. I think he actually shot his own teammate. I
Yeah,
don't
might
think
have been a
that.
little bit of a situation where you were like, oh, you're maybe an enemy? Nope, just kidding. Ooh, but unfortunately, it will be Pino who had that Blade Storm already, has the operator in the back pocket, and now is kind of just waiting, trying to get around these corners. It's not going to be enough, but Une from the other corner, and then all of a sudden up close and personal with that Headhunter, going to get Cloud bursted off here, but the Molly lineup will begin to do a ton of damage onto Une, who's going to live with 7 HP, 1 bullet in this operator, but that bomb is ticking so fast. The Orbital Strike comes out, and the Synergy attacking side will be able to bring us a 7-5 and not an even half.
Switching sides.
Oh wow, 7-5. Keeping the abilities in your back pocket as a Brimstone, and not only that, but also having that Brimmy lineup played off absolutely perfect for Synergy. And we have to, when we're looking at this scoreboard, Betty, we have to look at Antol. Antol with that 10, 7, and 6, doing their job as initiator. Also Sky right below 9, 7, and 2. Okay, we see the initiators putting in work.
Yeah, and I'm excited also. Like, on the defending side, you get to do so many kind of cool, aggressive things with the Breach alongside something like this Neon. You get to end up in so many places where people don't really expect you to end up being. And, you know, throw in a Brimmy Stimmy in there too, and all of a sudden, you're just coming in and zooming to the attacking side. So could be a bunch of really fun things happening for this team composition of Synergy now that they've moved to the defensive side. But all of a sudden we are going to see 2 lurks kind of happening from that Chamber and that Omen. You're very used to seeing both of those agents do some lurking, but now they're lurking together. You know what? Little less lonely for both of these lurkers.
Going out.
This is a team game, and friendships makes the dream work, as we see Une and Omen going on to this A-Link, but Swift says, hey, 1 is the best number of all. But the bomb does get planted onto mid, and the man advantage is on the side of the defenders.
Ooh, having to do a quick little hop and skip and jump away from there, but will be good enough to pick up that 3rd kill. Goes for that slide in, but it's not going to be enough. Vulcan actually has Swift's back there, and the bomb is being defused. Going to give it over to Swift's. Get a little bit closer to that overdrive for this defending side, and get a little bit of a peek and a replay at these kills coming out from Swift's here.
Oh, man. Yune's like, I don't even know what happened at this point. Eclipse goes, let me try to get the trade, but Swift says not today here. And just as you said, Flashed had a reposition there at the moment, and there was a 2 swing coming out from Synergy that was able to make the dream work.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate double swing from the attacking side. It felt like they were meaning to do the like very committed double swing, and then all of a sudden it was just like 1 swing into like somebody being like, oh, I don't know about this, and it just felt a little unsure. And if the attacking side is going to be that unsure, I think that's going to spell real disasters for the side of Dark Matter going forward. So I think they just really need to get themselves in a mindset where they're ready to commit to all of these plays if they're going to want to come back in this game while being 3 points down.
3 points down, not too bad if you can get off the switch picks, but it's going to be this B plant. They have, I was going to say they have the push together, but unfortunately it's Anton and Vulcan who have that B site under control. Anton says, hey, I'm going to swing out, but unfortunately the reload comes at the wrong time. Swift, though, able to capitalize for his team, and the bomb is still in no man's land, and Eden trying to pick it up, but Swift says, I don't know about that, buddy.
Swift was like, I saw somebody there before the brimstone smoke came down, so I'm pretty sure you're still there. The shots from that Phantom gonna make it all the mo better through that smoke. And then, you know, some of the hit marshal shots coming out from Dynasty there on that lurk gonna go all the better. 9-5 now in favor of Synergy here, and the full buys that are gonna be coming out from the attacking side here hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of a fight back. But like I said, I feel like we really need to see them kind of commit in an aggressive manner, maybe wait out some amount of utility and then be aggressive, wait out some of the smokes, wait out the dog maybe, and then use themselves and just be very committal. But this is what I was talking about. Swift's going strong and hard alongside that breach, and you know, you just get some really cool C-long plays when you get to just like run, get your teammate to flash for you. And fortunately, considering how many people were actually there, it is only going to be good for 1. But at this point, still a 3-3 situation nonetheless. So could have been. Oh, did get 2 actually. It was a 2 for 2. It could have been better. Could have been worse.
Absolutely. And although I have to say, holding this cheeky angle gonna be giving a little bit of information with that kill of the recon, able to swing out, gets one, but Eclipse says, I'll trade off for two. Very well. Now up to that cheeky angle. I love Eclipse being able to hold down these weird angles that nobody actually has to check. And nobody's like, they're gonna be up on that box. There's no way. That's such an aggressive angle. And now they're gonna reposition for this long hold together, which makes sense. You have Soba's shock bolts, you have a blind, I believe, also in the back pocket of Eclipse.
This is the only way that this is going to possibly go bad, and it's because Dynasty is coming from behind, is going to be able to pick up this Vandal, and all of a sudden just trying to go for the peak, but thankfully, Eclipse, holding it down with the correct crosshair placement, is able to make sure that that doesn't happen, and get a point back for the attacking side of Dark Matter.
Very expensive round, though, Becky. You had 4 deaths on your side. You still have enough money to buy up. And when I say enough, you do see Eden with that Spectre. But the Hunter's Fury is in the back pocket, so it's pretty nice. But also those light shields may hurt a little bit. That's, you want to conserve as much shield as you can. And with that less 25% or 25 dink of a shot there, it could cost you your life. But I guess Eclipse says otherwise. Vulcan does go down, and now they get to decide what is the side they want to hit.
Yeah, Eclipse also pointing out that bigger gun pickup potentially for anyone on the team. Silva, who had a Spectre, is going to go for it. Unfortunately, Swifts, watching that very nicely, did get to go to a safer position after that and punishes both of those players for trying to safely pick up that gun. Very nice crosshair placement and double headshot there from Swifts.
Oh, Kino trying to make something happen over onto this A site, but it kind of does seem like they just wanted to create a little bit of noise going over, but the lurk coming out from Wait is going to make it that much harder to actually get onto site. I believe Wait saw chamber, possibly, potentially, but, just going to go for this window peek, because that might be the best bet. Good for one. Has to check the other corner. Actually doesn't quite check it. Wait, there was a little bit of comms there, and Wade was like, okay, I got it. Don't worry, friends.
Yeah, Swifts was like, hold up. There's one more there. You gotta go. I'm right behind you. Go.
That was exact comms here, folks. That was exactly what we heard. We could totally attest to that. But what we can attest to is the difficulty that Dark Matter is having getting control of these sites. I was talking about maybe Synergy's team composition wasn't so much on the defensive side, but I don't even think they're playing defense at this point. They're playing Deathmatch Simulator, as we can see them even be aggressive on that defense.
I mean, if you're gonna play Deathmatch Simulator, having so many people on your team take up this many kills, I mean, the kill feed is pretty even aside from Edmund, unfortunately, and Eden going down very early into this round as Vulcan peeks out, picks up yet another one, and all of a sudden, the defensive side just being able to get into these up close and personal angles, and then be able to either rendezvous away or simply just be at a safer point backed up by another member is just going so well for them. The jump peek tries to come out and does bait Vulcan to at least stay long enough for Eclipse to pick that one up with a Sheriff.
They do get that weapon, which is going to give them a little bit more of firepower, but Dynasty's already onto CT, and the rotation coming out from Swift is also flying through. The blind's going to come through, but no one's going to actually get hit by that. And they are going to get a chance to go through the site and plant the bomb, but now the retake is happening. Swift onto the backline already. Eclipse is taken down, and Dynasty just says 2K for the Bucks and 11 points on the board for us.
I have to call it right now. I think the difference between these two teams, just like already, is that when Synergy kind of like, they must have somebody who's in their comms who's like, hold up, everybody, shh. All right, we're gonna wait here, ready your utility, and go on my count. 3, 2, 1, go. And every time that they've been able to do like that coordinated utility from certain positions at the same time, it just feels like Dark Matter is so unprepared for it, and it is going so well every time Synergy is able to utilize doing that. So as long as they aren't kind of forced back or like put onto some kind of unfortunate timing, they're going to continue to just do extremely well here as we get ready for this Neon Breach and Brimstone absolutely zoom down C-Long that nobody on the attacking side is even bothering to mess with.
No, they do have that trademark just to give them some information, and with that being destroyed, they are going to know that there's going to be people on their flank, but it looks like they're looking to aggress this A side. Vulcan, though, able to connect with one. As you said, teleported out of there as soon as he can. But Dynasty says, hey, they won't know I'm here. Thankfully for the attackers, they were able to trade off one, but it's still a man disadvantage. Their health is just a tad. They can breathe on them and they'll die.
Yeah, especially Une here, who is on 10 HP, is going to be the spearhead here to at least be trying to trade off with Edmund, but all of a sudden it's going to be made that much more difficult as all of a sudden Edmund steps out in front of Une, falls to Swifts, and then Antal is like, this last one's easy to clean up, and all of a sudden we are on a very quick and decisive defensive match point for the side of Synergy.
Oh man, I'm sure this is not what they planned out, especially coming into this last, but what they did plan was their economy. It looks like they might be able to somehow gather around and get at least a Bulldog. Oh, actually, okay. Kino has the Blade Storm, so able to help out, as well as Une also with the Towards the Force. I do want to see them be a little bit more patient. I feel like they want to hit a site and they want to hit it hard, but unfortunately, the held back coming out from Synergy has been a little too rough, as we see. There is that pick onto the C site. Brimmy, though, they have no fear. I feel like Synergy has no respect coming out from Dark Matter, because to have to hold on to this site, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, and with that, we do see White go for the fall there, caught up in that Rolling Thunder, followed by that nice entry with the Blade Storm coming out from Kino. Ultimately not going to be enough though, but the rest of them able to do some nice trades from a attempted all-on defensive side, coming back onto that 7-12 now, thankfully able to pick that one back up. But I mean, the gun buys are still going to be looking kind of rough. They're able to buy because of the saves from the previous round, but they've still got a really uphill battle. They've got to win 5 in a row to stop this defensive side from taking this one home.
I have to be the optimistic person on our side here, Becky. I think they did a phenomenal job at getting that initial pick there. If Dark Matter continues to get those initial picks, they are going to be able to get onto side plant the bomb. All they need to do is get that post plant together. Like you stated, it seems like they're not too synchronized onto that post plant. So if they are able to do that, and just as I say, Vulcan able to claim the soul of Eden, and it's a trade-off coming back and forth. The orbital strike already in the hands of Brimstone, ready to be popped if they plant onto this B site. But no, it looks like they're going to be rotating around town over to A site.
Yeah, we do see that Eclipse has this bomb, has the From the Shadows ready as well, and it looks like they're gonna plan a place to get this bomb down, maybe. Since there is only 2 of them left, they might be just trying to do some funny mind games, try to get a little bit of attention somewhere and get a pick as a result of that. This dark cover kind of makes me think that they're trying to bait people into thinking that they're going towards C, but the way that they're running around this and checking every angle, I mean, they're eating up a lot of time, but with 44 seconds, it might end up going well. They're kind of close to Antal, but they're just passing like ships in the night. Oh my goodness, this is so tense all of a sudden.
I don't want to breathe because I might make a noise.
30 seconds left.
I'm feeling exactly the same way. They're being so scared. They're even checking their own spawn. I mean, like I said, the From the Shadows is ready, and all of a sudden they're making a lot of noise. And I mean, the defenders thankfully did a great job of picking this setup that allows them to hear very well through every single side. The Orbital Strike and the Rolling Thunder coming out are going to make sure that that tiny space that you have on B is just not going to be enough. High ground from Kino is going to be good to pick up Dynasty, but in a 1v2 situation, has to grab the bomb, has to plant, and there's just not enough time, and it will be a win for the side of Synergy to start us off in this series.
Synergy did everything right. Their crosshair play was beautiful. I think the biggest thing that kind of dictated what happened had to be Swift on that Neon. You talked about the Neon. I personally have never seen so much top-notch quality content coming out from a Neon. I don't think I've ever seen a Neon in competitive period play this good as Swift did, and I think that was actually the first kind of dictating role of what was going to happen for the rest of the match, was the confidence that came out of Swift.
Yeah, and I mean, it helps to have that kind of level of confidence when you have somebody like Antle on the breach and you have someone like Awate on that brimstone to just like, if you need a flash, I've got you. I'll flash around that corner. You run. If you need another stim beacon to make sure that you're just going so fast that nobody's even going to be able to hit you, I got you. When you have a bunch of those utility champions and your use champions agents, when you have a lot of those utility agents that are ready to back you up and ready to just like throw out their utility to help you stay safe and achieve what you need to achieve, you get somebody like Swifts who's top of the board 22 and 12 with a 286 combat score. And it's beautiful to see, and it's beautiful to see that level of teamwork and coordination actually being able to work for a team. So absolutely beautiful. And I think that it, once again, is just the coordination that was coming from Synergy and their team name, speaking well to how they played that first map. So I think if they can continue to play with that same level of prowess and synergy as their name would suggest, then I think that we will stay in a great place for them.
Well, with that, we are going to take it to a quick break. We will be back with the second map, which is going to be Ascent. So if you're ready for some throwback, I'm excited to see what type of team composition is going to be thrown out here. But let's not speculate quite yet. Go grab some water, grab a snack, and we shall be right back. Hello, 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 gamers. We hope you grabbed your snack and your water. If you just tuned in, we had Dark Matter versus Synergy. Synergy took the first map. We did state that Haven was the map choice of Dark Matter. So I'm a little bit concerned going into the second map. It is the choice of Synergy on Ascent. But Becky, we were talking about it and you were saying it doesn't really matter because Ascent is the oldest in the book. You should have some strats coming into this map. And I feel like I definitely agree, although there has been some new characters being brought out. For example, Chamber being one of them that now is the bread and butter of Ascent. If you can hold down either mid control or that catwalk, then you're going to be golden to be able to get those first initial picks. But before we theorize any more about the team compositions, let's talk about Victorious GG. They do throw weekend tournaments that you are able to join, ! Registration in the chat. These teams are fighting out for the grand prize of 700. So their first place will be taking on, 400. You know, numbers sometimes get a little bumbled in my head. $400. Third place will be going $300, and second place will be taking those $100. So hey, regardless, these teams are getting some money. And with that, we are going right into Agent Select. So let's get it going. We are excited. Team compositions, though. Now we get to talk about team compositions here, Becky.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, like you were saying it beautifully, alongside kind of, again, I was saying that Ascent, Split, Haven, they're all such old maps that it doesn't really matter what team composition you pick. They're all so old, or it doesn't matter, like, who picked what map. They're all so old. Everyone's ready for them. Everyone's prepared for them. You wanna start to see who. Whoa, that was an absolute.
Yeah, they're ready for it. You're right.
Select. They're like, let's get right into it. We know what we want to pick. We're going for it. Not even gonna give me time to go on my rant about like how map picks don't matter unless it's like specifically Breeze or Fracture or Icebox. In the fact that Icebox has been like recently changed, so maybe some people aren't totally prepared for it like they used to be. And all of a sudden we're just like blazing on to this map. Not even gonna get time, but it is a mirror match, so thankfully we don't have to go into all of the convoluted differences between these two teams, as they are identical. And I think that this is just like the strongest team composition for this map as it stands right now. You can sometimes see something like a Brimstone in place of the Omen, but I think that this is just like kind of Omen's playground. There's a little bit of verticality that the teleports get to just play so nicely with, as well as some really great kind of little corners that you can teleport into with that from the shadows as well. So love the Omen pick from both sides, as long as you can make sure that your paranoias are going nicely into some of those tricky corners. You're getting everything done that you need to get done.
Yeah, but it's going to be that flashpoint that's actually going to give away a little bit of util on Swift. And Kino says, hey, you were the better duelist last map. Let me get a little bit of highlight over onto me. But the spike, Vulcan through the smoke. We've been seeing a lot of through the smoke here, Becky.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a recon dart ping out, so had just the sense after that recon dart ping. Thankfully also able to rendezvous out of that situation. Don't really want to rendezvous with any of the enemies, so we're gonna make sure that we're instead back in our own base for just a moment here. And the rest of the team and definitely looking to do a little bit of scrappy business here as Une's trying to see if anybody is up close and personal coming out of this B-side garage area. White is looking to see if a recon dart is going to come out. Usually that is a place where you would see it, but I believe that the attacking side Sova still has that recon dart on cooldown, so we probably won't be seeing that at least. Oh, nobody's back up. All right, so we could see Eden go for that second recon dart, and it looks like we are lining up for that exact one that Awate is waiting to shoot down.
Yeah, and it's the Une taking out his replication there, says, hey, there can only be one, and now it is just down to, like I said, one Dynasty who switched from the Initiator over now to a Controller. So let's see if maybe the Controller is a little bit more of Dynasty's playroom here.
We will see. The paranoia is in the back pocket should that be the decision, but in a 1v3 situation, maybe you just simply save that 300 credit investment into the next round. Is going to try and play between this gap in that dark cover. Is going to be good to pick up a 1 on Takino from that area. Goes to start that paranoia, but Eclipse is actually going to be the one to finish it off from that side there. The attacking side will be able to bring this one home, no problem. In Dark Matter, should they have a strong start, could bring us onto the third map that is a Fracture.
Ooh, I do love me some Fracture. I like that Fracture is being seen a little bit more on these tournament scenes because before it was like an instant ban. Nobody ever wanted to see Fracture, and the fact that teams are bringing it out, it's telling me that they're practicing on it a lot more, and they think they have the right strats for it. I say they think because we never know, right? They haven't truly been tested just quite yet, but what has been tested is the aggression coming out from Dark Matter onto this B site. It was a triple stack onto that A site for Synergy, and now they're going to have to pay for it as Kuwait is the only one onto the site and does go down. The bomb gets planted, and the retake will be started.
Yeah, thankfully it was at least a 1-for-1 for the defending side as they just all jump trying to get in on that action with those shotguns onto Eclipse. But Eclipse is going to be able to finish both of them off, get a lot of damage onto Swifts as well. And now Une knows that somebody's hanging out there, but it's not going to be enough to let Edmund know. And all of a sudden, a 2v2 situation with Dynasty and Swift trying to get onto the site. Swift's good for 1, almost has the correct positioning with that Sheriff, but instead a Dynasty in that 2v1 situation is going to come out on top and get this defuse. This is kind of weird. We aren't usually seeing the back and forth that we're seeing from both of these squads during these pistol rounds into bonus rounds, and all of a sudden, we've seen it twice now for both of these teams. Oh, that double kill from Eclipse has just gotta feel so bad for the defensive side.
Oh, that jiggle peek coming out from Swift shows that his movement is on point as well and causing that distraction for Dynasty to be able to come from stairs and be able to pick off the last one remaining. Does make it show why that Synergy is their name.
Dynasty preparing these dark covers to go into this next round. So far, so sweet. Readying that paranoia for that corridor. Should they get a little bit of action, but with the rest of the defenders kind of hanging out there, it's not going to be the call quite yet. And instead, going to wait and see if anyone's coming down catwalk. And we could be in for a rude awakening here in just a sec here. Dynasty throws out that paranoia. I don't think it's going to be wide enough to at least have hit Eclipse, but is it stopping some of that push coming out from Edmund here, as Dynasty instead is just trying to back off, go for another one of these dark covers, as Eclipse kind of counteracting with a dark cover of his own.
Becky, check out this lurk already happening from Swift, able to capitalize on Edmund. As you were talking, the lurk from Tree took a little too long, and now the spike is left onto B side, but the map control is on the side of Synergy, and that's what they're doing so well, is being able to capitalize and taking the space away from these attackers. And now Edmund, classic kill, very impressive.
How did Eden get a classic kill against a Vandal? Swift, so are you okay? I have a couple questions, but Wate is gonna be the one actually to finish it off. I mean, I just want to see a replay of the Vandalverse classic, and somehow it doesn't go the way of Swift's. I'm mind blown. We don't have. Okay, we maybe do. Okay, yeah. I gotta watch this again. What is happening here? Okay, I guess we're mostly focused on the chamber for Swifts, and then all of a sudden Eden pops out as it's like, oh, I got this final kill, nice headshot from long range with the classic. I mean, that's just gotta feel unfortunate if you're in that situation for the defensive side, but ultimately being able to get that round nonetheless gotta make you end up feeling okay, even if you're Swifts in that situation.
Definitely questioning his life choices, but so is the attackers. The bomb is not in anyone's hand. They're kind of wanting to take map control, and I do love this. I would like them to be a little bit more aggressive, but it is that toward the force on the hands of Une that's going to actually help them out if he manages to get this kill onto B site, but that's not going to be the case. The control for mid site is going to come through from Dark Matter, although they haven't actually pushed onto the site, but the bomb is making its way onto A, so they just wanted to create a little bit of confusion for these defenders. Oh, that trademark. Unfortunate.
Yeah, all of a sudden, we're gonna see Kino kind of be stuck in this corner. Is gonna maybe. Oh, he did Cloudburst the trademark so that it doesn't get caught by it, but doesn't matter. Oh wait, kind of hanging out is slow on that rotation, so he's gonna catch out Kino nonetheless. nonetheless. Nice little peek around that corner. Gonna be good for one from Vulcan. Is now knowing that somebody else is there, but Eclipse is gonna get the better of him. Une to pick up one as well. Wait, with a nice little shock dart kill towards that default plant area. Peek around the corner with the Odin for another one. Odin versus Phantom. Vandal, excuse me, from Edmund. Who will take it down? 51 HP. Wait, just on the prowl. Both of these players have HP, but the Odin with the Sova is just too good to be true.
I feel you said that Ascent is the map, the bread and butter of everyone, but I feel like the Sova with the Odin is also another thing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, you get to see it almost every single time. Like, and it's just so, I mean, even the way that Ue was looking at that one tree and just like ready for the Sova dart to come out from the opposing Sova, you just know that like you have this other sense happening from you when you're a Sova player and you have to play against another Sova on a map like Ascent. You just know all the lineups, you know all the default areas, and you just beautifully get to be so prepared for it. And I think Ue is doing a great job of being prepared, ready, and combating it beautifully. And now is going to get to potentially get some shots through this wall here, but thankfully Une, nice little runaway, and instead going to pick up that kill on Swift.
So you no longer have the Jet on the side of the defenders, and Swift has been one of those top players for Synergy, so maybe taking out that duelist is going to give you a little bit of more leeway to be aggressive onto this A site. They're going to throw the Dark Clouds to cover up this tree room to make sure that they can go on through, but that grenade buys them time for the rotation to come through, and the Hunter's Fury coming out nice and early, going to touch onto Une, and eventually does get the kill. Now they are going to push onto this site, but there's 3 members of the defenders already there. It doesn't matter, they're gonna just go through. I guess they have no fear, but Antal says fear should have been in the back of your head.
Oh, fear should have been in literally every single one of Dark Matter. The moment that all of that utility was coming out into tree, you should have just been like, they know we're all here, and we just gotta play like they know. Instead, they just played kind of right into the palm of Synergy's hand, and all fell as a result of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're a little bit scared. I don't know if it's because of the last map. Yeah, of course, the 13-7 is not the worst. You could have been 13-1. So I know that Dark Matter has the potential to clutch and be able to pay post-plant, but right now they're falling right into the hands of a Synergy.
Unfortunately, that is going to be a leg shot or a body shot from that Marshall, so Vulcan will live with 49 HP here. No problems quite yet, and going to continue to peek around this corner now with the help from Dynasty there. And unfortunately for the side of Synergy, Kino also still watching this corner. Is going to get yet another body shot on this Marshall. A lot of damage dealt, but no kills found quite yet, except for the side of the rest of the attackers who managed to take out Swifts once again early in this round.
I do like that they do have that weapon disadvantage. The hero gun is on the hands of Une, which, I mean, what better character to give your weapon to? They have been also hitting their shots, so makes sense. But it looks like they're going to want to hit this B site, and the defenders have just played it so beautifully. They have a map control. They have that A main control, so they know that they're not going to roam around there. And also, they have the Chamber looking at this tree, who will eventually come into contact with Une. Does go down. 2 health on Une, though. Must feel bad.
Yeah, a little bit rough, but all the same, Antal actually able to peek out there and take out Eden, and all of a sudden it's just more utility, and it should not be this hard for the attackers who are in a 4v3 situation to get onto a site, but you know, the Odin does go burn. If it's stopping any part of this catwalk that you could possibly walk onto, and you just all funnel into Antal, who gets the ace for the round.
The aggression isn't quite there coming out from Dark Matter. We saw it on Haven. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if it's because they are too afraid of weight, of just like you stated, that Odin does go burr and it's been burring all over their bodies. So it could be that, you know, in the back of their head, they're too worried about those players. I just want them to take a breath, take a deep, deep breath. They do have some utility. They do have some ultimates in their back pockets. That Hunter's Fury is there. So maybe starting off the party with that would work out. But hey, that null command coming out from KO will definitely make it a lot harder to get onto this B site.
and it spots literally all 5 of the attackers. The dark cover is going to come out, but I mean, you don't really need to see your opponents to shoot in the right area with the Odin, so just continuing to spam with that is not going to connect for a ton of damage, but Eden actually the one to pick up that first kill into this situation. The Owl Drone is going to come out, and Dynasty trying to figure out what exactly is going to be the best way to get onto site, but Swifts Une, I don't know why you're looking into a smoke like you're going to be able to see anybody there, but it is going to end up going quite poorly. The Cloudburst to block a bit of that blind coming out from the attacking side, and all of a sudden we are left just up to Antal. Got an ace in the last round, has the Odin here, gets one, but the trade from the attackers is going to be good for them to pick up their second round here.
I have a question, Becky. Why is it that Dark Matter is able to convert a dub from all of that chaos? Because that was so chaotic. There was so many ultimates being thrown out there. We also, like you stated, we had Une looking into a dark cover for absolutely no reason, and somehow, some way, it was that Dark Matter was able to convert that into a dub. Do you have any answer for me?
I mean, their name is Dark Matter, and if you're somebody who has a space-themed name, maybe you just thrive in chaos. Like, the idea that the world is built on chaos, and maybe that's just where they're feeling their strongest and the most comfortable. So I guess hoping that they can create some more chaos and get us into a close game soon, because I mean, that round, most of their players looked pretty good, and if they can continue to do that exact same thing here with a nice early kill here from Kino onto Antal, that previously extremely potent player for the defensive side, going down that early has got to feel good, and Kino is continuously on the prowl, picks up another one onto Wait there, and all of a sudden, 5v3 once again for the attacking side, so should be able to get onto the site, no problem. The Vulcan is still holding it down, will eventually fall to Kino, who's now picked up a 3k there. The only remaining defensive players are on that A side, able to be sniffed out by Eclipse there, but the bomb will be able to go down, and Swifts is going to have a hard time picking this one up.
Spike planted.
But if you want the last player to be anyone, it's got to be Swift. Swift able to hit some nasty shots with an operator, has a Vandal in hand, also the Blade Storm if things get a little bit too hairy and they decide to bring them out. But like you said, top order to finish through. 4 men still on the side of Dark Matter, holding this post plant. Maybe at the end of the day, Swift just thinks if I can get a kill or so, that would be great, and able to do that, but Edmund says that is all you get.
I mean, all of a sudden, we're starting to see a different side of Dark Matter. They've really been able to kind of pull through in these last few rounds and make something work for them. I think a big part of it has just been the way that they've been backing up some of these slow pushes into this mid control. Since they've been able to figure out where a lot of those trademarks are hiding from that chamber in this mid area, the moment they've been able to pick off one of those, they've pulled somebody into that area and then been able to convert whoever they pulled into this mid area into a kill, and then they have control of it. All of a sudden the trademarks are gone, whoever they pulled towards that area is down, and they've been able to equate that into dubs into these last few rounds very beautifully and very well. So if they can continue to kind of play with that same prowess of converting an early pick into a nice level of control, just like that, using that Hunter's Fury, forcing Antal out of that corner and getting Kino to pick it up as well, will continue to look pretty good, except for that pushing through this dark cover without any flashes is proving to be very difficult for these attackers. Kino, though, trying to hold it down alongside Eden, are able to get a ton of kills. Yeah, no, not gonna get this bomb down, but are getting that much closer to an even game.
Yeah, we have this replay. We see Swift trying to get that mid control, but like you stated, it is an aggression coming out from Dark Matter. We see the Hunter's Fury and finishing off. Kino has been popping off. You stated it's very scary to push through those smokes, but hey, sometimes all you need is a little courage, and they were able to pull through that courage with a dash onto site, and the last man being on Heaven, and both of the teammates just swing on through and get that kill, and now we are just 1 point away from an even matchup.
Yeah, I think we would have seen that last round be a lot cleaner if the pot flash would have been kind of more immediately followed up. It was a little bit laggy, but ultimately was the correct idea and something that did allow for them to get it into a dub anyway. They just, Dark Matter, the times that they are coordinated together are the rounds that they end up beating out Synergy. The times that Synergy really kind of hold their synergy together ends up going their way. It's really just a fight for who is the more coordinated team at this point, because a lot of their crosshair placement and shots end up being relatively equal, and as well as the kill spreads. They all end up being pretty equal. Utility usage is good all across the board. It just depends on who's using their utility to benefit their teammates more.
And also the first bloods have to be a big factor of that as well. I think Kino popping off slowly but surely has also been helping out Dark Matter as well.
There was a shock dart to clear out one of the trademarks in mid, and that's what we got to see more of. If you know where the trademarks are, and if mid control is so important, and you're trying to get a lot of that information, let's just get all of it. We did have a little bit of a network error there, and all of a sudden we're at a 3v2. But with that, we're also seeing the attackers a little bit of a leg up here. All of a sudden, just Vulcan left, and I believe Vulcan was the one having a little bit of a connection issue.
Oh, no.
So unfortunately, that does mean that our attack, I mean, unfortunate for Vulcan not having the best connection into this game. Fortunate for all of the Dark Matter fans out there who are hoping for them to come back into this game at a 5v5 now. In this level of the game, will we be seeing a 6-6 half, or will we be able to see the side of Dark Matter continue to run away with this game and get a lot of advantage back?
Well, the good thing they have on their side is going to be that operator on Yune, as well as the 3 ultimates in their back pocket. They have that Blade Storm from the Shadows and Null Command as well. For the defenders, they're kind of on a janky buy. As you can see, it's Antal only with that Vandal, and Wait also with that Phantom. And they are going to split around, which I do like this choice because, hey, you want to have equal weapons on each side, but Yune says, Vulcan, you decide to push out, I'm gonna punish you right off the bat. But Swift isn't afraid. Swift just gonna go on through. They don't have a lot to lose. As I said, weapon disadvantage is a factor onto this point. But hey, I don't think that Synergy is too worried about that. I think they just want to get some weapons on their side.
Yeah, we are seeing the grenade come out from Edmund, but Dynasty with no fear goes ahead and pops right into it to be able to get that little bit of a trade. Beautifully done to pick up that 1 kill. He went for a teleport into another cheeky little situation. It blows down this door, but now this crossfire that is being held by Kino and Eclipse is gonna make it that much more difficult. Throws out that paranoia from Tree and is slowly working on trying to get onto site. Swift is good for 1. Dynasty good to pick up 3 kills, and Await finishes it off. All of a sudden, what was kind of a rough buy for the side of the opposing team in Synergy is able to convert to yet another win.
I am impressed because that shouldn't have been the map point of Synergy whatsoever. They had a man disadvantage, not only a man disadvantage, but a weapon disadvantage as well. I think the biggest factor was the lurk around from Swift over from A main to be able to take out who was Une with the operator, and also be able to keep it, as well as we can see Vulcan has that operator that passing out around that op, saying, hey, it's going to be a chamber for a chamber. Let's see who gets that first point. And that 6-6 is still up in the air here, Becky.
Is still up in the air. We also saw Dynasty kind of do a really great thing in that last round. Une, though, in this round, picks up that first quick kill onto Antal, goes for that rendezvous away, picks up both of those points, and is going to be able to take another different long-range angle here. Going to go ahead and throw down that trademark. And back to my previous point of what Dynasty did in that last round was somehow able to use that paranoia, block off vision of one of the people holding that crossfire at the door. Went for the one that was not blind, and then immediately turned around and picked up the other one. So beautifully done on that retake. That's how you have to use that kind of difference in paranoia. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do a similar play going into this round, as Dynasty does fall to Eden immediately there, and some shock darts getting ready to go towards that heaven side as the attackers get this bomb down.
We've seen this before. It's that man advantage, and just as I was saying, Swift is able to actually take down KO. No longer no flashes, but Swift continuing to create chaos, and now it's just down left to Eden, who's holding down Hell, and unfortunately doesn't quite manage to stay alive. In a 7-5, we saw this before, Becky. It is Synergy creating that energy for their team and carrying on that momentum to leave them on that 2-point lead onto the second half.
Yeah, the 2-point lead on the attacking side for Synergy did kind of end up in them stomping in the second half the moment they moved on to that attacking side, so I'm a little bit concerned about it here, especially because, once again, even though I don't think it's the biggest deal, it is their map pick.
Last player standing.
So, especially on that attacking side, potentially equating to some stronger attacking side force. And looks like we will be seeing kind of this initial very aggressive B-side push. I think it's extremely beautiful to go for, especially when we can see that Swifts has picked up that cloud burst as well as just having that default dash. Picked up a ghost into this round, but you should be able to just go for the cloud burst onto one of the angles that you don't want to hold dash and get that door down as quickly as possible. But, you know, when you also have Vulcan backing you up, I mean, you just don't have any concerns. Doesn't even have to go for the cloud burst dash movement there. It just doesn't matter. Une able to get a kill there onto Swifts, who I thought was going to be just like super aggressive onto the site. Ended up not needing to be in. All of a sudden, just looking a little bit rough for the oh no, for the defending side. Une though trying to hold it down as best as possible, but Vulcan picked up a shorty, got 2 kills with it, got 2 kills with the headhunter. I mean, beautifully done from Vulcan. We do get to see a little bit of a replay of this situation. Vulcan getting that early kill just meant that Swifts did not need to do anything too hasty. Didn't have to use that dash or anything. Does kind of fall quickly to Une there, but then Vulcan actually, okay, 1 kill with the headhunter, and then it looks like 3 kills with the shorty. I mean, absolutely insane as far as one of these early pistol rounds is concerned. Just really surprised Edmund the moment we got that door down. Beautifully done from the attacking side to start us off 8-5, and now Dynasty trying to hold an extremely long cheeky angle because of this teleport here.
Kino getting aggressive, going for the Blade Storm here. You said it. Once they get started, they cannot stop. Synergy just continues to overwhelm Dark Matter here. Swift is going to continue to keep the momentum. Swift was just ready for that angle peek, especially after Kino grabbed the orb. That was definitely a sign that there was going to be someone around the vicinity. And the bomb is making its way over onto B-side, but so are the defenders. Really good on their part to call out what they are hearing. Sometimes you know, rotations come a little bit late, but that's not going to be the case here. It's going to be the drone to clear it out. But that knife is going to hold back any utility coming out onto this site, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's going to be Synergy just pushing on through because their weapon advantage is there. And Antol and Vulcan just continuing to pad up their stats.
And their stats are looking extremely nice. I mean, Vulcan is top of the board at 17-10. Has the Tour de Force ready, but doesn't really need it because this Vandal. I mean, we might see Vulcan go ahead and hand over this Vandal to Swifts and go ahead and utilize that Tour de Force, but we also might just see Swifts go ahead and get a buy up from Antol there, which is actually what we end up seeing here. So gonna go ahead and hold that Tour de Force in case something ends up going not according to plan in the next few rounds. And I mean, Antol just doing a great job of holding all the angles that Vulcan wasn't looking at in that last round. Nice little default shock dart from the attacking side to see if we can take out a default trademark, but unfortunately, we do see that the defending side put that trademark more towards market and less towards pizza.
Which is smart to do so, I mean, especially knowing that the Soba has the lineups. You know, you're just like, I'm going to try to keep as much util safe as possible, but it's Swift, who doesn't really care about the util. All he cares about is getting onto that site. Une, that's been the 3rd through the smoke kill that he has got. If you want to take a dub anywhere, it is going to be one of those. But now, the man disadvantage once again on the side of Dark Matter. They cannot catch a break holding down this B site.
Yeah, it's like once you get to see Synergy move towards the attacking side and they get to play as 5 and they get to utilize their utility all together, you're just really seeing why their name is Synergy. And it's so beautiful, especially as Vulcan picks up 2 more kills from the defensive side. Eclipse didn't go for that exact same timing on that retake as well and is instead kind of stuck out in this attacking side dark cover. And Dynasty is kind of thinking about maybe going in as well. Instead, gonna wait for it to fall, but thankfully a quick flick from Eclipse is gonna shore that one up quite nicely. Gonna wait and try and get some of those exit frags, but ultimately once that cloud falls as well, Awaits will be able to finish it up and bring the side of Synergy to double digits.
Double digits, your enemy's map choice, actually Synergy's map choice, and it makes sense why. They just start steamrolling through whatever site they want. And I'm thinking here, maybe you want to rotate a little bit of agents around for the site of Dark Matter if your chamber isn't quite helping out holding this B site. Maybe bring out the Omen to throw out some smokes, maybe even the Jet to just get some headshots there. But the struggle is definitely real for Dark Matter here, Becky.
It's real and it's coming in hot. They've got to start really getting it together on this defensive side, or at least just start giving up sites and preparing for just full retakes as 5. If you're struggling because you're losing players quickly as the attacking side comes onto site, you gotta just be ready to get the information and give the site up. Work to play those retakes as 5 and play from there. And I'd love to be seeing that from this defending side of Dark Matter. Going to start off with this defending side. Dark cover to block this off. Kino making some shots through the smoke. They're not going to equate to anything, but it is allowing Clips to go for this reposition into Wine as Une still kind of holds this long angle with his tour de force. And unfortunately, Clips trying to hold that other long angle does fall to Vulcan, and now we're going to see a reposition with that tour de force. But on the other side of the map, while all of that is happening between those two chambers, Une will come out victorious, but the rest of the defending side is struggling to keep up. Eden also viciously with some of those shots from that Sheriff, trying to keep them all shored up. That grenade is going to keep Eden at bay, especially at that low of a life total here. And Une, kind of far away, went to go pick up a gun and now is in a rough situation as far as this bomb ticking down.
Yeah, the bomb is ticking. 8 bullets in the chamber for both of them, and 20 health onto the Eden, as you stated. They have to go through. They have to push out now. Une with that tour de force able to get rewarded. Now going to swing on to help, but unfortunately the angle is held by 2, and 2 against 1 usually doesn't quite work out. And we do have that replay available here, Becky, as to how they were able to take onto this A site. The Dark Cloud holding off tree gave them a chance to just dash onto it, and they were also very aggressive as to, oh, I'm sorry, this is post-playing here. 2v3 happening here, and we did get that initial pick onto the Soba or Omen holding a main, but after that it just went, they trickled one by one, and the shots were there coming out from Synergy.
Yeah, that was a hard situation because Eden had low HP, so I like the decision to say, I'm going to go ahead and drop down. I'm going to get the information. Just trade me out. Unfortunately, the thing that made that not go so well is that there were 2 people holding hell. So the moment that you go for, okay, trade me out, you just have to hope that your enemies end up lining up. But the people who are actually lining up are the defensive side for Synergy, who just, once again, on this attacking side, bring something different every single round and are coming with a vengeance. 3 of them through this mid side with that controller, able to pick up 2. Une is just trying so hard every single round, able to pick up 1, but gets traded out every single time. 2v4 for the defending side. Vulcan peeks out, picks up yet another one, and unfortunately the 1-for-1 trades for the defensive side are just not what you want them to be when there are still 3 remaining for the attackers here.
Oh, Edmund has Dream, no utility because they are suppressed. And Dynasty says, you had a dream, buddy. You had a dream. And now, last point on the board, Synergy showing why they are the superior team and looking to take that first place right about now. The only thing helping the dream of Dark Matter is the fact that they do have that from the shadows. If they want to get onto the back line, just kind of do a cheeky play, ninja style play for Eclipse. And unfortunately, they do have that judge onto Kino. That's a rough buy there.
It's a rough buy, but your back is up against the wall, and you've just got to be going for the best buy so you can possibly make it. Unfortunately, that is going to be the judge for Kino going into this one. And up close and personal, actually, is already hanging out towards this just entry to A. Unfortunately, nobody quite there yet. We do see that Eclipse is holding a tree, and I mean, ultimately, Une is able to pick up 1 yet again, but it is going to be that KO. Nobody's gonna be able to res though. Nonetheless, all of a sudden though, 2 left for the defending side in Une and Kino, but if 2 people on this side of Dark Matter are going to be able to take this one home and to safety, it is certainly going to be these 2. Une only has 5 bullets in this Phantom. Better hope that only one person peeks. It is going to be Kino trying to go for the peek, and the information immediately has to dash out because at 6 HP, you're just looking to be in a rough situation. The bomb is down for the attacking side towards B, but they're trying to just go for the glory kills here as Kino is the only one remaining. 6 HP, Hunter's Fury comes out. Will we be able to find Kino? No, we're all shooting too low.
Oh, we do get the early GG coming out from Edmund. Says, hey, I know, there is a hope, there is a dream. 6 health on Kino. Kino's just saying, if I stay alive for long enough, maybe, just maybe they'll come and hunt me down. But that is actually going to be the case. Read it right, but unfortunately the shorty coming out from Vulcan to finesse the last kill and give them that 13-5 on the board. 2-0 for Synergy here. Very quick and fast dub coming out from their.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Synergy just like, again, kind of the exact same thing. They had like a pretty even, they ended both of the defending sides at with their advantage at 7-5. And then the moment that they got onto that attacking side, they just started running away with it. Once again, their team name just defines how they play. They play by having very coordinated attacks, by utilizing all of their utility together. And I think it was ultimately just a little bit too much for the side of Dark Matter, or something that they maybe weren't as prepared for. So beautifully done by Synergy, and certainly something that I'm looking to see Dark Matter come more prepared for in future tournaments.
Absolutely. And with that, that is Synergy winning that $300 prize pool. And they also get a free registration to the Summer League coming out from victorious.gg. If you are looking to play in more tournaments or are looking to join a league coming this summer, make sure that you do ! registration in the chat. This has been a blast. Congratulations once again to Synergy, and shout out to our producer / observer in the booth, Gurf, the man, the myth, the legend, sitting here putting this together. Don't forget to do ! Or don't forget to follow actually Victorious on all our socials, Twitter, Instagram, and as well as here. Turn on notifications to know when tournaments go live. And Becky, any last words before we head off?
No final words. Congratulations to both of our teams for making it into this very sweet little prize pool, but a big congratulations to Synergy for taking this one all the way home and also getting that registration into that summer split.
And where can they find you, Becky?
You can find me. My name is right below. I'm Becky Bear on pretty much everything, so if you need to find me, that's how you'll do it. Becky spelled without a C, and bear as in the big fluffy animal that you shouldn't pet but looks very pettable.
I love bears. I can confirm. And I have been Cute Noob, and you can find me on Cute Noob all over social. Thank you so much for having us. We hope you had a blast, and we shall see you here next time.
Stealing sight.
Teleport's ready.
This way. I'm out of here.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Shadows traveling.
Spike drop. I have the spike.
Last player standing. Spike planted. Last player standing. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. Last player standing. Spike planted.
Standing ahead.
Last player standing. Last player standing.
Stealing sight.
One enemy remaining.
Who told you it was all good?
Where to run?
If you wanted a peek, I've seen your face around here. Come along you pull